Texas A&M at Alabama. Alabama 24-point favorite, over under 51. Max Johnson won't play. It'll be Haynes King. We don't know the status of Bryce Young. It could be Milroe, who's not a polished passer, but freak athlete. This is Bama for me. I mean, Haynes King is going to get the start for Texas A&M, who also lost their top playmaker at receiver for the year. Can I tell you about Haynes King's stats this year? He played Sam Houston State and he threw 2 picks. He played App State. He was 13 of 20 for 97 yards. 13 of 20, 97 yards. Last week against Mississippi State, 6 of 13, 49 yards, 2 picks. Good Lord. Good luck to him against Nick Saban with revenge. And by the way, Nick Saban with revenge, he's played 15 teams that have beat him the previous year, which Texas A&M did last year. 14-1 straight up, 11-4 against the spread, 73.3%, covering by about a touchdown per game. Yeah, that's good. The only quarterback to ever beat him back in a second year was Chad Kelly, the GOAT, at Ole Miss. But here's what's really crazy. You know, Saban just boils in these games. And you're putting all the preseason comments that Jimbo had on top of that. How's this? In the games that Alabama was favored in these revenge spots by more than 10 points, which they obviously are here, they're 6-0 against the spread, covering by 9 points per game. But the craziest part is Saban never lets up in these spots. In those 6 games, all against SEC teams that beat him the year before, do you know what the second half total scoring margin was in those 6 games? 130-27. One of the 6 SEC teams in blowouts managed 27 total points in the second half. One of them was an Auburn kick return for a touchdown. In all of those blowouts, 6 blowouts against SEC teams with revenge, Saban's teams allowed 7 total points in the fourth quarter. They're not going to let Texas A&M score. They're going to keep his defense in the whole game. And I don't know if Haynes King could score in the backups. So I'm looking at Texas A&M team total under. I think that, like, if Bryce Young can't go, it does hurt the upside of Alabama because it'll be easier for Texas A&M to defend them, and there'll be more like 3 and outs. There's higher variance. But Texas A&M, their defense, their secondary was going to be good this year, even though it got ripped apart with Miss State. They're replacing everyone up front with a bunch of 5-star guys, and they've been bad. They can't stop anybody in the trenches, and Alabama's going to take advantage. And I don't know how Texas A&M scores. I really don't. So I'm going to lay it with Alabama, even though I don't show a ton of value in the number. I'm going to look at Texas A&M team total under. And then you know what I'm going to look at, which might have to be the best bet, is if Alabama's up 28-0 at the half, bet Alabama again for the second half, because they're not going to let up. And the line will probably assume that they will, and it'll look at the pregame line. But the quarterback uncertainty for Alabama makes it a little tougher, but I don't know how Haynes King is going to score here.
What do you think Jalen Milroe's 40 time is? I mean,
3.9.
Holy cow. When he got free in Razorback Stadium, it was like a lightning bolt went down the sideline. I can't see why Bryce Young plays this game. He's listed as game time decision. But let's go back. Let's backtrack to a week ago. Nick Saban comes out and says, offensively, we always have a philosophical approach to how we're going to attack opposing defense. Now, yeah, Nick Saban's the shark in the water, and he smells blood, and he wants to pounce on Jimbo, maybe get him fired, and maybe get that $90 million buyout going. But, so, I mean, from a narrative angle, it's fun to say, like, Saban is going to absolutely blow this game out. Okay, but how is he going to do it? Why would you subject Bryce Young in a game with a spread this big when your defense could take over and easily win this game by itself? So I expect Jalen Milroe to be the starter. I expect him to play, but let's talk about the philosophical aspect of this. Why would Nick Saban throw one single pass in this game? Texas A&M's rush defense is horrific. 111th in rushing success rate on defense, 109th in line yards, 100th defensively in stuff rate. They can't stop the run. And the Jalen Milroe zone read, it's perfect. It is a perfect attack against this Texas A&M defense. And if they miss one tackle, which they're 52nd in tackling, he'll take off. There'll be scores. They'll be fine. I don't know how much they're going to run Jahmyr Gibbs, but look at the schedule. Who does Alabama play next week? Tennessee. What is Tennessee's biggest? Yeah. What is Tennessee's biggest weakness? The secondary. I wouldn't throw a single pass against Texas A&M. I would keep it all off film. I keep Bryce Young healthy because the way that you're philosophically going to go into the Tennessee game is to attack the secondary. So I do think this game is completely going to be on the ground for Alabama. I'm not sure if that makes the scoring slower because Texas A&M is going to give up explosives and they're going to miss some reads by Jalen Milroe, and he's going to take off. But at the same time, I agree with Stock. There is no letting up in the score. I don't think there is going to be any let up by this defense. They're out for blood.
But Saban's going to be calling a timeout if it's like 4th and goal at the 1 for Texas A&M with a minute to go.
Yeah, this isn't Saban taking on a former assistant this isn't Kirby, right? I mean, this isn't Lane. This is a problem. This is Jimbo Fisher, who had some pretty derogatory things to say over the summer, which were, in my opinion, pretty uncalled for. But we'll see what Saban does with it. And I just think we need to all realize that the correct philosophical approach is to do Jalen Milroe on the ground, because that's where Texas A&M is weak, and you keep your passing off the tape for next week against Tennessee.
But you would agree, Texas A&M team total under. Like, how do they get the 2 touchdowns? I don't see
it. Alabama is, they don't fumble the ball and allow other teams to create havoc. So I don't see how Texas A&M scores either. I really don't. Which player is going to score? Aeneas Smith is gone. Max Johnson was playing decent. He's gone. I don't know how they score with who.